to share the outdoor experience, regardless of opportunity, skill level, or ideals. This is the mission statement of Blue Collar Outdoors. Since 2006, I've poured my heart and soul into developing an idea that would allow everyday sportsmen to share their hunting and fishing adventures with the public. This is that show. This is Blue Collar Outdoor TV. Thanks for watching this episode of Blue Collar Outdoor TV, folks. I'm your host, Ryan Askew. Today we're going to take a look at the fastest growing population segment in hunting, women. Back when I started, it was a rare thing to see a woman out hunting. There really wasn't a lot of involvement. All the sportsmen and deer shows, were predominantly men. But over the last 10 years, we've seen a real growth in the women's side of hunting. This past fall, I was lucky enough to follow along with a new woman hunter as she expanded and broadened her horizons, and she was lucky enough to take her first big game animal on camera.
I'm Melissa Lindsay, and I live in Manitoba, but I'm originally from Nova Scotia. I moved here in 2008. My husband, my boyfriend at the time, moved out here, and I followed him. Growing up in Nova Scotia, I lived in a really small town and had people around that hunted, so I was kind of used to that lifestyle, but my family didn't really hunt, and we'd have people coming and hunting on our land and sharing meat and stuff with us. So that's kind of where I was introduced with the hunting stuff. And then my husband grew up hunting, so he's the one that really got me into it. Ryan and I met through, I guess we first met at an archery tournament, and we just kept talking from there on out. We went to an outdoor shoot. The first shoot was an indoor shoot. We went to an outdoor shoot and we got talking about hunting, and I don't know if he was under the impression that I had hunted more than what I really had, but I told him that I hadn't gotten a deer yet. I was out. The first year I went out, I just tagged along with my husband and some friends and didn't even see anything. So I don't really count that, but the second year I went out, we each got a bow, my husband and I, and we went out for archery season, and I spent a lot of time out there and didn't get a deer that year. So I worked really hard, but I was really excited to get out the next year and try to get something. So Ron and I started talking about that. He kind of gave me some tips and some ideas. We talked about maybe getting together for a hunt and filming that. He thought that might be a really cool thing to get on film. So for the elk season, I took a week off work. We set up camp so that we could be out hunting as much as possible. We had scouted, we had private land we were hunting on. So there were a lot of elk there until about a week before the season opened. And we just kept getting out there as much as possible. We had some tree stands and ground blinds set up. And we actually didn't have any encounters with elk on that property. So we went to a new place, tried it out.
We just followed an old trail down to a lake where the elk have been known to wallow, and we saw a bunch of tracks and stuff down here, so we're gonna sit back and see if they're gonna head back down this way. They could be bedded up on the hill on the other side there, so we'll see if any elk come out tonight.
we tried that spot for the evening. So we were sitting there for a little bit and we heard something moving through the trees. It was sort of loud, it wasn't really loud. We weren't really sure if it was an elk or not. Just watching to see if anything came out, and it was quiet for a little bit. I turned my head and there was a nice bull elk standing behind some bushes looking at us. It actually spotted us before I even seen it, and it was pretty much facing towards us. So I didn't have a shot. It was kind of behind some bushes, and it seemed like it was there for a really long time. I did watch the video footage back afterwards, and he wasn't there for very long. I didn't have a chance at a shot at all, but it was not even 30 yards away from me.
I would have been happy with that.
That was a nice bull.
That's a nice ball. When you said right there, I turned my head too fast. I thought I heard something kind of that way, and I was watching. I didn't hear it come out that side. That was kind of intense a little bit, but I've never been close to an elk before. Yeah, I didn't even hear him coming out over on that side. I still thought I heard something in the bushes, and I was watching for it. And anyway, he saw me, and I wasn't very optimistic at that point. He'd already seen me, but anyway, that's pretty cool.
So that was pretty cool and intense to have an elk that close. Growing up in Nova Scotia, we don't have elk there, and I was just so excited to even see something. And then we still hunted on the property a little bit and in the mornings, but we decided to try another spot again. So we set up on another field to watch to see if we seen anything coming in this new spot. And not too long into it, we were sitting up against a hay bale just so we had a really good vantage point so we could see the whole field and see what was coming in and where it was coming from. A doe and a fawn came out, and then a really nice big 5x5 buck came out. And then we were there for a little bit longer. A few cows, cow elk came out. And that was a pretty cool night. We got to see a lot and got an idea what was going on there a little bit. So we decided the next night that we could, where we had a good wind, we would come back in and give it a try again. And we came there a few different nights, and we seen a few big bucks in there. And this is right before the archery whitetail season opened, so which I also had a tag for, but so we couldn't get anything until the 1st of September with a whitetail buck. So we came back another night. I can't even remember the time frame at this point. This is all within the first week. So this is getting close to the end of my week, my first week hunting. We were sitting in the ground blind. The wind was good from where we thought the elk might be coming in, where the cows actually came in the night that we first seen elk there. And 2 young bulls ended up coming. I couldn't even see them, but from where Ryan, who was filming, was sitting, he could see them coming.
I thought I was getting shot. Oh my god.
That close.
So close. Oh my god.
If Melissa was sitting where I'm sitting right now, she would have killed that spike. That's bow hunting though.
I'm really excited. Like, I was so close. It felt really good. Like, I felt like I wasn't gonna lose it. Like, I could actually do it.
It's crazy because this is really my second full year of hunting, and it's all I think about. I just make plans for hunts coming up in the future. I still hunt for meat. I don't want to hunt for anything that I'm not going to eat myself and utilize. I like it all. I like the whole experience from start to finish. Scouting and preparing and hanging stands and doing everything. We butchered our own deer this year too, and I have with my turkey and stuff. I like all of that. I like it from field to table, the whole experience. I find really rewarding. I just think about other opportunities for myself. Going on a bear hunt next year. I never imagined I would do that. But I tried bear meat again, and it was really, really good. So now that's something I'm looking forward to. I want to travel a little bit and hunt some different things that maybe I wouldn't have a chance to hunt here, and be able to eat it and just get out there and experience as much as possible. It was so close, but it was just an awesome experience to even see the elk that I saw. And there's a lot of people hunting around the area that, and I know they didn't see a whole lot from what I'm told. So my first time elk hunting, just a new hunter, just really thankful to even have the opportunities and see the things that I seen. I saw a lot of wildlife, and even those big bucks. That was really cool to see and be so close to them too. I can't remember what day it was in the middle of November, but I took another week off work, the last of my vacation. and tried a new spot with Ryan. He came with me to film my deer hunt to try to get a kill on film. So we hunted. It was pretty cold. We set in our ground blind and put the time in. We knew there were bucks coming through there, and so we just stuck with that spot because we figured that something was going to come through there eventually. We're not going to give up on it. When I hunt, I don't like to move around a whole lot that way because I'm just paranoid that as soon as I move, then that's when something's going to come through where I was. So I really wanted to be persistent and stick to that spot and try to get something there. When we started hunting the spot, we threw up a trail camera the same day we set up the ground blind, and we went out and hunted that day. There were does coming through there. So we felt really good about that with the rut, that there'd be some bucks coming through looking for does. We had a doe come within 10 yards the first night that we were out, and so that was pretty cool just to see something, just to know that there was stuff coming through there. The next day we went out, and it was a really cold morning. We usually would take a break for a few hours in the middle of the afternoon at the most, and then come back out to sit for the rest of the day. We decided to leave probably about 20 minutes earlier than what we usually did. We grabbed the memory card from the camera and went to check that, and it turns out that pretty much as we were leaving the blind, there was a buck there that was probably going to come through right where we were sitting. So that was, I think, within just a few minutes we had missed him, and he was a small buck, but at this point I wasn't. I was just shooting something with antlers that I could legally shoot just to get my first deer. And a few nights later, I had my first encounter with a buck, which actually happened to be a really big buck. He came in just where we were hoping he was going to come in. He walked in. I couldn't see him at first. Ryan saw him. He was behind some trees, and he was telling me, "Let me know when you see him. Let me know when you're ready." Ryan was telling me to let him know when I was ready to take a shot, and I think at that point I kind of just zoned him out a little bit. I had my gun up on my shoulder. I was looking at him through the scope, and I thought that he stopped, and I squeezed the trigger and completely missed him, which is a good thing that I did. I didn't want to make a bad shot on a deer or any animal. So I missed him completely, which was good. I didn't want to make a bad shot on an animal. He kind of ran up this little hill, and he stopped, and I was trying to get my scope back on him, trying to get him in my sights, try to see if I could get another shot on him. It was pretty thick brush too. I just, at that point, no matter what, I probably wasn't gonna take another shot at him. I didn't want, I was all worked up. I didn't want to make a mistake again. So anyway, he got away. I completely missed him. So that was midweek that this happened with my miss on the big buck. There was the last morning, I really just wanted to sleep in that morning. I was exhausted, but we weren't seeing a lot in the morning. It was more evening action, so I wasn't really thinking we were going to see anything that morning anyway. I thought maybe I could sleep in, go for the evening, and that would be my best chance at getting something anyway. But I said, no, this is the last day. I'm not gonna sleep in. I'm not gonna to waste my time doing that. So decided, yep, we'll get up, go out in the morning. Got out there again before the sun came up, and we were just hanging out in the blind. I really did not think we were gonna see anything that morning. And again, Ryan's seen it before me. I guess he just had a better vantage point.
Shoot again. Can you see him? Work.
And I couldn't even tell if it was a good shot or not. I thought it was. I mean, it was 10 yards away from me, so I was sure hoping that it was, but I had no idea. I was kind of in a trance or in a daze about it. And Ryan's congratulating me that I shot my first deer, and I think I was just pretty serious. I wasn't really excited or not. I'm like, well, did I shoot it? Did I hit it? What happened? I really didn't know. And so we played back the video, and we did think it was probably a good shot based on what we saw. We weren't really sure, and I didn't want to bump a deer and have to try to make a shot at it again. It was really thick in there. I just didn't want to have any room for error, so we left for a few hours actually, and came back to start tracking him. My husband actually shot a deer the same morning, so he, when he was done, he came over and helped us track the deer. We picked up on the blood, and it was really helpful for me. I'd never tracked a blood trail before, so I had some extra sets of eyes helping me and showing me what to look for. We followed it, and he was kind of all over the place there for a little bit, but we kept picking up on it, and finally they pointed him out to me. They saw him laying there. So we walked up to him, and I was still kind of almost didn't believe it. He was laying there. We checked to make sure that he was dead. I was starting to get a little bit emotional, but still almost really couldn't believe that it happened. I got my first deer. I was so happy. I felt a little bit bad. I felt bad that, and here I am crying. I felt bad that I took a life. I love animals, but I love meat, and I love deer meat, and I really appreciated that deer giving me his life. Well, I took his life, but I appreciated that. I appreciate the animal and really respect it.
Tell me how all of this makes you feel. The emotion of the animal.
No, as soon as you say the word emotion, I get a little emotional. It wasn't really hard on myself after missing that first guy. It happens, and I'm new, but I put a lot of work in this season, and I'm just really proud of myself. I didn't give up, and it feels really, really, really good.
Made you cry?
I did.
Yeah, and I'm still, like I said, I'm really new to this, and I still have a lot to learn. But I find that, in this short time period, in 2 years, and I still have so much to learn, but it's amazing to me how much I have learned in the past 2 years. And like I said, I've done a lot of it on my own, and at the same time, I've had a lot of people helping me, giving me these opportunities. I appreciate all of it, and down the road, it's something that I would like to be able to share with other people, or give my input or guidance on whatever, because I want to be able to give back like other people have helped me. For me, and I don't know if this is something that you're going to use at all or not, but I found that as a woman, people have been very helpful with me along the way. And as a person who hasn't grown up in that type of lifestyle with hunting, people have been actually really supportive of that. And I feel like, I don't know if this is even something you're going to use either, but I find that I'm getting a lot more advantages and opportunities because I'm a woman, more so than Jared. I'm getting, and I know a lot of people around the area through work and through community involvement that people know me, and I think maybe partially because I'm a woman, they feel comfortable with me coming onto their property and hunting on their property, and I feel like as that part of it, it just, being a woman gives me an advantage that way.
So there you have it, folks. What a great look at a woman's perspective in the outdoors. I'd like to thank Melissa Lindsay for allowing me to tag along with her. There's no denying it, folks. The growth of women in hunting is integral into ensuring the future of hunting. I'd like to thank you all for coming along today, folks. So until next time, take care.